apparently today is a public holiday, and employed individuals, actually some employed individuals, are not working. Yeah, today is day 26 in the year of our Lord 2023. Sijalekera bajukiza nti ennaku zigenda. So whatever we do, we need to look at what we set out to achieve. So yesterday I was having a very interesting conversation with someone. Yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about the Toyota Crown and the Toyota MarkX, because someone has been asking me so much about the MarkX, and I thought, well, before I do that video, why don't I do a live broadcast where I tell you guys about the MarkX and the Crown, because these are two cars that are in the same category. Good morning, Safina. I hope you're doing well. So yesterday I was supposed to, good morning, Charles. So yesterday, good morning, Mr. Cafero. So yesterday I was supposed to help someone get a MarkX. No, the RAV4. Good morning, Martha. And this person was supposed to come from up country, but he did not come. I don't know what happened. Then the phones were not on and all that. And yeah, it worried me a little bit. But when I sent WhatsApp messages, they were read, which tells me that that person might actually still be okay. Umayika, these days when people are traveling from our country, and you don't hear from them that they were supposed to travel to you, you get worried a little. Buses, there's plenty of accidents, and yeah, you don't want to get bad news. So I was quite worried for someone that told me they would be getting to Kampala early in the morning yesterday, and they didn't. Yeah. So the Toyota MarkX, Toyota Crown, Toyota MarkX seems to be more popular than a Crown, but I think it's important for us to understand that the Crown, if you're looking for luxury, okay, if you are looking for luxury, I think the Crown would actually do much better. And I assume that most of the people that are actually buying the MarkX are looking for class, luxury, and beauty. Okay. So this is why I thought, why talk about the MarkX without talking about the Crown? Because if I had to choose between the two, I would actually choose the Crown. Okay, because they are literally the same car. Both these cars have a V6 engine. Okay, both these cars have a V6 engine, and they are both high maintenance. That's one thing you need to understand. As a motoka zonna siza muntu wa wansi nti omuntu akyetetenka ate teyetagula MarkX oba Crown. Okujjako ng'oli mumalirivu n'ogamba nze emmotoka gye sijja kufa nga sivuze ku mmotoka Mercedes-Benz. They call them Mercedes-Benz y'omwavu. Good morning, Mr. Lucius. They call them Mercedes-Benz y'omwavu. Good morning, Brian. I'm imagining this is Brian. Yeah, I normally say Maria, but I know this is Brian. Yeah. So so today we're going to be trying to go a little deep into the MarkX and the Crown, and then probably understanding which other alternatives can you get if you don't get the MarkX or the Crown, because there are other alternatives that you can probably buy. So today is a public holiday for you guys that didn't know. Good morning, Stuart. Today is Liberation Day. It's being celebrated where? The side where Prime Minister comes from. I saw Prime Minister peeling matoke. Yeah, so you guys were liberated. Mercedes-Benz, probably So I'm actually thinking that if you don't get the Crown or the Mark X, you could go for the Mercedes-Benz C-Class or E-Class. Yeah, in Kakumiro. Yeah. I've been to Kakumiro. Na Kakumiro abantu abo bali bubi mukama basasire. Yeah. So the Toyota Mark X, very popular. And I will tell you that the reason why the Mark X is much more popular than the Crown is because the Mark X is much more affordable than the Crown. That's a fact. Because whereas you can get a Mark X UB something at around 15, 16 million, the minimum you can get the Toyota Crown UB series would be 18 to 20 million. Okay, and I'm going to tell you now. The Mark X, of course, has two versions. They have the Mark X, the normal Mark X, and then they have the Mark X Zero. I don't know if you've seen the Mark X Zero. Now, the Mark X Zero is an estate version of the Mark X. Fielder. The Mark X Zero almost looks like a Fielder or the Spacio. You get, so that's the Mark X Zero. And the Mark X Zero, I've seen plenty of women are driving it. The men have kind of stuck to the original Mark X. I think probably because it looks, yeah, the Zero doesn't look good, Charles. It's a fact. The Zero doesn't look good. But it's unique for someone that wants to drive a unique car. They would drive the Mark X and everyone would be turning chimoto kachecho. So that's why people are driving the Mark X. But it's mostly women, because women want to be different. They want to seem classy. They want to I think that's just something that happens with women. It's in their DNA. So that's the Mark X Zero. And the Mark X has V6. It has a 2.5cc or a 3.5cc or a 3.0cc, depending on what car that person who imported it decided to import. You get. So depending on where you're going to buy that car, you may buy a 2.5, 3.0, or 3.5cc. Now, 3.5 is a fuel guzzler. You'll be using more fuel than even a Harrier Kawundo. So 3.5 and 3.0, that's something I don't recommend that anyone goes for, because the moroke jakutama ojana jisurawo. Well, for 2.5, that's probably the least you can get with the Mark X. Kati Mark X is very comfortable. It comes with a cloth seats kazine zange. Some have the leather. But if you find them with the leather, most of the times it's that they were switched either in Japan or here. That the person that bought that car first made sure they put leather seats. You get, because good morning at council. Because when you buy a car in Japan, you can get them to personalize it. Even if you were to go to Toyota and you're buying probably a Starlet, you can actually tell them, can you put leather seats for me? And they will do that for you. You get. So, but the Mark X doesn't necessarily come with leather seats. When you're buying, there are cars that you would buy in a full option. That means the person that bought it first made an order with the car manufacturer, and they told them probably put this for me, put this for me, put this for me. That's why they call them full option. I'm sure you've seen those ads when the broker is advertising a certain car na kugamba and this car is full option. So normally that's what it means. And again, probably ne batekamu ready endala, ne batekamu leather seats, ne batekamu oba heated seats and all that, you get. But the Mark X, a majority of the time, will come with the cloth seats, teziba na leather seat covers. Those cars are very comfortable. That's one thing I need you to know. They have very nice interior. But you need to understand that whereas for us we think Mark X is luxury, it was made as a semi-luxury car. Luxury car. For them, it's a semi-luxury. And the Mark X has about 2.5 inches from, is it 2.5 inches, 2.5 centimeters. Gochobo manyant Mark X eliwa gulu kusinga ku crown. So you need to understand that when people are making luxury cars ziva edito lower. To give you the comfort, the shock absorbers ziba zikola nnyo, ziba na ngumu nnyo. Eba ne shock nga nza amaanyi naye nga zikolera wansi, okitegeera. So but the Mark X eri wansi ngera bwe mugiraba tosobola nagiwanika. It was made to have power, to have speed, but to give you comfort at the same time. That's why bwowanika MarkX ate bijjala bikabubi. And that's why MarkX in byalo etawaanya oba ogenda givugira mu kyalo. Instead of buying a MarkX, you'd rather buy the Mark II Grand, because the Mark II Grand is a little raised. Even the Mark II Grand kind of looks like it was meant to be luxury, but it wasn't really meant to be luxurious. It's a little luxurious, but it's not as luxurious as the Mark X, because the Mark II, Mark IIs are 2.0, all of them. Of course, there is a 2.5. Why would you buy 2.5 in a Mark II? Because tegenda kuwa comfort. Mark X je kolachi. Mark X je kuwa. And of course, all these Mark X's are rear wheel drive. This kida mabega zonna. But with the Mark X, there are chances you can get a four wheel drive. Nenga 4-wheel drive yinza okubanga full time. Ebegenda kwongera ennyo mu mafuta ade bagamba it's 2.5 nayo jagisanga enywanga 3.0 because it's a 4-wheel drive. Motoka za 4-wheel drive zonna ndanga 4-wheel drive eri engaged ziba zinywamu. That's why baba bakola SUVs ezimu baba bakola pickups, the 4-wheel drive ebeera ne kagiya akayo so that you engage the 4-wheel drive yourself. You get what I'm saying? But if the 4-wheel drive is full time, you need to understand that it will consume some car fuel. So maintenance, but in Uganda we don't really need full-time 4-wheel drive. So when you're buying a Mark X, I've not really seen a 4-wheel drive Mark X that has options. But if there's a chance and you go to a bond and you're buying a Mark X that is 4-wheel and they're telling you can get it with the option of like you engage yourself the 4-wheel, get that one, because of course, if you're going to be driving in places like where I live and you're buying a Mark X, the 4-wheel drive would definitely give you much more peace. Because in a foraba neyange skid maso sometimes I skid and you don't want to have that because if a rear wheel drive car actually skids, chances are high you'll end up off the road, and you don't want that to happen to you. You get. So that's the Mark X. The Mark X is you can get a used Mark X at even 13, 14, 15. You get. And in the bond you can get, depending on where you buy, starting at 28, 30, 25, depending on where you drive, which year they have, which condition, which mileage you get, and how it looks, which options it has. Because you need to understand that the Mark X is a luxury vehicle. So you're not going to go and start bargaining. And also, if you have the money, I'd recommend that you buy a new Mark X. Or if you're going to buy used, buy one that is not very old. Most of the people that drive those Mark X's don't drive them badly, but someone will sell their Mark X because it has something that they have probably failed to fix because of the expense. So you need to be very, very careful as you're buying them. So remember, they have the Mark X, which is the normal Mark X we see, and they have been manufactured since 2004. 2004 they started manufacturing the Mark X. They go all the way 2017. That's why you see that there are so many different Mark X's that look different, and they all look nice. But every other version that you look at actually looks better. Looks much more luxurious. And I've told you before that if I were to drive a certain type of car, I'd actually drive a Mark X. But I've said I would not buy it. I would actually go and hire it and drive it for a day or a week. 2.5 is the minimum you can get in a 2.5cc, which take it your Mark X. Now you can give me your question and I will answer what it dam. So let's go to the Toyota Crown. Now the Toyota Crown, on the other hand, is luxury, pure luxury. With the roads, Mark X withstand the test of time. Yes, they because I've seen a Mark X on UAM and it still looks nice. But just know, with our roads, maintenance will be very hard on you because the bushes will die. Because it's very low, and then from time to time you may have to repair the exhaust or because of the holes that will go in there. That's why you find that majority of the people that drive Mark X's are in places like Chira, and they have some money. Every other year I choose a motoka because they mutami. ayagala kutandika mmoroka mpya tayagala kudda mu maintenance oyo ng'agitunda ng'agula endala. Like the person that works at my office, the one that drives the MarkX, every year he changes. Why? Because he lives in Chira, and Chira wadde si wala nnyo naye enguudo ezo nazo si nnungi nnyo. So the MarkX, like you council who lives in Mbale, I'm imagining you don't live so far away from town, you'd actually drive your MarkX and have peace. Which take it, because if you're looking for luxury for a lawyer, I would think the MarkX would be an affordable option for you. Which take it. And Mbale, I don't think Mbale is too big that you need to drive like 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers. I'm imagining in Mbale, where you are, you drive like 5 kilometers to your office, 5 kilometers to your home, you get. So the MarkX, I think, would be a good option. However, let me tell you about the Crown, because the Crown is one car that I would definitely buy and put at home. Which take it. It's much more expensive, but it's one car that I would drive. Now, the Crown, it has like 4 versions. It has what we call the normal Crown. The normal Crown is 3.0. It has 2.5 and 3.0. Which take it. But there are crowns that have 2.0, by the way. They are very rare, but they are there. It's in a 2.0. It has the Crown, the normal Crown. It has the Crown Athlete. Now, the Crown Athlete, if you say every single year, in 2.0 over 2.5. Which take it. Then it has the Crown Majesta. Then it has the Royal Saloon. Now, the Royal Saloon is the Royal Saloon. Is the luxury of luxury. You get. Now, if you have seen the crowns around town, you've seen embassies driving crowns, you've seen car hire companies having crowns. Actually, people that have crowns abamba bira bayina driver. Okitegera nti atuuleriye mabega driver n'akolaki. Namuga the Crown speaks pure luxury. Okitegera it's like a Mercedes-Benz, by the way. The Toyota Crown, especially the Royal Saloon. When you see a Crown that is a Royal Saloon, the fuel tank is after the door. There is that car thing, Crown. The Majestas, they have the car thing on the boot. All these others, the athletes, they have, but the Royal Saloon has it on either side of the car. I have the Royal Saloon. The Crowns, they speak luxury. In fact, it's very rare to find a young person our age in their 30s driving a Crown. Majority of the time, people that are driving the Crown are in their 40s, late 40s and 50s. Because at that age, he just wants to drive comfortable. He wants to be comfortable in their car. And tayagara kuulira kinnya, tayagara kuulira kimutawanya, and they drive with their windows up, they drive with the AC, because the Morocco already enywa amafuta kati chicha ataasa. So just know, if we were talking about the Primo, and we talk about the Primo new model, like the Crown would be the new model of the MarkX. The MarkX speak luxury. So what does it take for someone to have a family and personal counsel? How payments are done monthly or annually? Can you give us a rough estimate in terms of cost, please? Yes, counsel. What demba naye? Okuteka counsel ku retainer. I think that's what he's asking. How does a family put you on retainer? It would be very good, by the way. It would be a very good thing for especially kati abasajja abalina abakazi abangi. You need the counsel on retainer. Someone that would actually manage your affairs properly. Mugende wa counsel yatereze embeera okitegeera. Yeah. So the Crown has all those versions, but just understand the Crown was made for luxury. If you're looking for a luxury car, never begera kubeera your second car, never begera kubeera your first car, you just want to drive luxury, or call your stress yensi, or call it the centezo, and you just want to feel like embeera nzensingi vuddeko, let me drive and enjoy. So the Crown would be your car. The Crown might actually be much more, in terms of cost, it might be much more comfortable than a Mercedes-Benz. The Crown doesn't reach the level of Mercedes-Benz in maintenance, because you know how Toyotas can be very reliable. Maintaining it is cheaper than a Mercedes-Benz. Yes, you get to get the comfort of a Mercedes-Benz. So there you have it. But the Crown also used on Ugandan roads like UBF, UB something, 18 million, 19, 20, and you enjoy pure luxury. I think if I were to buy a luxury car, I would definitely buy the Crown. Not the MarkX, but the Crown. However, is a Morokazo Nazonanga zichaliao. You can, if you don't want to buy Toyota and you want to buy luxury, you'd go to the Mercedes-Benz. Now, the Mercedes-Benz, we have the C-Class, C180, C200. It's a compressor. Then you have the E320, E350, you get E300, all those Mercedes-Benz that is so they speak pure luxury because you park it. Of course, when you park a Crown and someone parks a Mercedes-Benz, you get out of the Crown and people will know this guy has money. You remember when we were talking about the Maslo's hierarchy, and we said you get to the place where they say the esteem level. People that are at esteem level, most people die before they get to the esteem level because most people die before they get the amount of money where they decide kakati njagala vuga Crown. Okitegeera obe nywe nti omuntu atekamu full tank wali n'agivuga ennaku 3 neggwamu ng'ate ne distance gyavuze entono. That's the level of esteem, level ya Crown. However, you would realize that a Mercedes-Benz might actually be more fuel efficient than a Crown. Because you will buy a Mercedes-Benz E320 that is 2.0cc. Nenga Crown is not 2.0cc. And then you'll find that the Mercedes-Benz is actually faster than the Crown on the road. And you'll find that the Mercedes-Benz is actually more stable on the road than a Crown. You'll find that the Mercedes-Benz looks more luxurious, looks more classy, looks more money than the Crown. So that's where I would actually say kangenengule E-Class njiteke waka. However, maintenance ya E-Class is much more expensive than the maintenance of the Crown. Even the mechanics for the E-Class are not everywhere, yet the mechanics for the Crown can be seen. But you need to understand one thing, that the Crown really breaks down. Crown in a garage. And I think the reason is because most of the people that buy the Crowns, they buy them from the bond. Council Tulinze answer by the way. Emma is raising a very serious issue here. The Crown and Brian go area yagara comfort. The next time you come to buy comfort ya director waffe tuina kugula Crown tuve mu Mark 2, either tugende in a Crown oba tulumbe Mercedes-Benz because katoledo ine moroka ezikola emirimu zigenda kuba weziri kati moroka ezikola emirimu ozirekayo noberawo ne moroka ya director nga director bwaba talina nyonyo sente z'amafuta tanyega tayegera ntalina sente z'amafuta agamba driver n'amutwalako mu nnuwa y'essomero oyitegeera. The hybrid can achieve up to 17 kilometers per liter. Yes. Amafuta gano ogalaba. Wadde bakugamba 17 kilometers, but a Morocco, if you buy a car in Uganda, just understand you're buying a car that probably has 100,000 kilometers and more. And it might not give you the mileage that people are saying online. You get, for example, the MarkX will actually give you like 6 to 8 kilometers. Okay? 6 to 8 kilometers per liter. The Crown would actually go as low as 4, which take data. But you need to understand that most of the people that are driving the Crowns on the road today are not driving the hybrids. They are driving the normal V6, which take data. So they are not getting. That's why it's very rare for you to find someone as young as us driving the Crown. Crown uta. Yet you can find someone as young as us driving a Mercedes-Benz E320 man na emotoka you anange moroka Mercedes-Benz buli bwenjogera ko mpulira ngo ntima gubwa do okitegeera. It makes my heart skip a beat. So Mercedes-Benz, one thing, the hybrids go buloya ke moroka ngeri kagambo hybrid just know it's going to be expensive, and although it will give you that mileage, you'll find that Jaji Vugayo like 2 to 3 years at a and it can depreciating. I'm not saying it might happen. If you went to the bond and bought your Crown, a hybrid there from the bond, there are chances that you'll find it with 40,000 kilometers. There are very many chances, 50,000 kilometers. You just have to make sure that you are alert. Because one thing you need to know is that the model case is really luxurious. Abantu bazivuga nnyo. Jayisanga bali bagivuganga mafia yali yagigula mafia we Japan. The mafia had bought it and they drive him around town and they park. And the next day they drive in a Mercedes-Benz, they park. So you can actually find a Crown with 20,000 kilometers, almost new. You get. And if you get a Crown at almost 20,000 kilometers, it means it's almost new. So there are chances that it will actually give you very good mileage. Yeah. So, but just know all these cars, they spew comfort, they spew luxury. But MarkX is a semi-luxury car. It's not a luxury, it's a semi-luxury. and that's why you find that it's much more affordable than the Crown. Okitegeera. Kati bwe tudda ku Mercedes-Benz, the C class is actually when I talk to my friend, the Mercedes-Benz mechanic Kasim, he tells me the C class ye primo mu Benz. Ogenda vuga Mercedes-Benz and you want a primo, you'd actually go and buy you buy the C class, your primo ya Benz. Okitegeera. Directions esikuwani say. Me, I'm a dreamer, by the way. I'm a dreamer, and being a dreamer, there is a potential that I see in almost everything. Kati potential me, I see it. Yo. Okitegeera. Up. So Patrick is telling us it depends on the extent of work you want to be catered for, but usually a retainer on an annual basis consider it at a minimum of 8 million, but attendant expenses for the work are paid for. Oh, so it means to have a lawyer on retainer. Like if someone wants a lawyer on retainer for anything, they would pay 8 million shillings annually. That's like your lawyer is on call. However, you'd have to pay for his fuel, you'd have to pay for stationery. Ziri za kumanya nti nyina lawyer wange yali eyo. Sicho Patrick, for you to know that we have a family lawyer, we have a business lawyer, you pay them 8 million annually. And then you will say, ngaba na abantu, the people you see like how someone has Lukwago and company advocates as their personal lawyer. So it means they pay them a minimum of 8 million annually. But then every time, let's say you call you call Patrick to come and bail you out of prison, you'll pay for fuel. You'll pay for everything that he uses. Zilizi is a professional. So I think Eman was the answer jifunye. But Patrick, what is the best thing for you for someone to do? Because a retainer might actually be very expensive, because we don't need lawyers very often. We normally need lawyers for agreements. We need lawyers for example, if I have an issue at police, I have a land issue, a land dispute, that's normally when I need the lawyer. So what would be your advice? Because 8 million might be on the high end if I'm not going to be having the lawyer with me all the time. So what would be your the E240 erimu cc 2,200 2,200 zote zigenda nnyo mu 3000 cc. No 2,200. So that's why I'm saying that the Mercedes-Benz might actually have better fuel mileage than the Crown. I tell one thing you need to understand, Brian, is that these Mercedes-Benz were made with the German technology. Of course, they prioritize power, they prioritize stability, but you also need to understand that they have a lot of electronics, which take gear. So they'll also give you much more fuel mileage. But also when you're talking about safety, now that we are talking about also all those things, Mercedes-Benz is safer than all these cars. Which take gear, it's safer than all these cars. Let's say you're going to buy a 2009 or 2010 Crown, 2010 MarkX, and a 2010 Mercedes-Benz E240. I would actually go for the E240 because Ochimanya, when you get an accident, you remember the director of Galaxy FM, a farm accident, he have a Mercedes-Benz. He wasn't driving the latest Mercedes-Benz. He have a Mercedes-Benz. So if you're going to be driving like a 2010 model of a car, I would actually prefer the Mercedes-Benz because it might be safer on the road in case you got an accident. That's why you rarely hear people having accident Mercedes-Benz nga bafudo kujja kungata abadavugisa chimama chinji nnyo nayingira wansi wa lore. You get what I'm saying? Because we have airbags. Mercedes-Benz might have 8 airbags almost everywhere in the seats everywhere, but it doesn't have airbags here. Ochitegeera, airbags are not here. Katichitegeza bonovuga and you go into a lorry down there, it will put this thing off. You'll get an airbag here, but it might not protect the upper head or your skull. So I don't know if I make sense. And most of the people that actually get accidents in Mercedes-Benz nebafa the impact was up here. Protected. Emma is saying retainer is very expensive for member here. Like me, I have never been in trouble with law, neither any member of my family, i.e. brothers and sisters, but I might need a lawyer to keep my titles and will. Atikati, Emma, for you to need a lawyer to keep your titles and will, musa kuritaina. Okitegeera okusobola okuterekera ebintu byo. Okuterekera ebintu, you need to give him a retainer because abiterekera ki? What motivation does he have to keep them for you? Okitegeera. Because, and I'm thinking, Emma, most of the times when people, when you decide to put a lawyer on retainer, it means you will need a lawyer at a certain point. That's why people keep lawyers on retainer. People like ministers, people like MPs, because they at any time, big business people, they keep lawyers on retainer. Why? Achimanyi at any moment is going to have trouble. So buli kizibu kyafuna nga akubira ku lawyer we, mukama wange gye baleko. Mbadde nyina wano bwenti mpise na wano. How do you think I can proceed? Okitegeera nti people that keep lawyers on retainers are people that will need them. If you're, for example, you're a top criminal, you will need a lawyer on call. Even if you're going to commit a crime, you call him, I'm going to do this. What are the legal implications? And then the lawyer even tells you, that's why you find that some of the biggest frauds, some of the biggest criminals don't go to prison because they know every loophole. I was watching Narcos. It's a series about the Narcos in Colombia. And the biggest drug dealer ever in the world probably was Pablo Escobar. And Pablo Escobar had lawyers on call at all angles. He had the best accountants, okitegeera. So it was very hard for you to get him. I think that then there were these Darkos, the gentleman of Cali, okitegeera. Njirabye leeti munanga nti ebintu mbiraba leeti Narcos nkimanyi yafulumadda, but I think Pablo Escobar was a legend. He's still a legend, by the way. So the Narcos would have the best lawyers on call. That's why you find that the biggest criminals in everywhere, Queen of the South. See, I have a cousin, your Queen of the South. I've been seeing that thing. And the thing is that me, I can watch like an episode for 4 days. I come and I watch for 10 minutes and then I go away. I come, watch for 5 minutes and then I go. I doors. By the time I watch Suits in But anyway, I think Emma, what counsel is saying, it depends on how often you will need the lawyer. Because if you're a busy businessman, you're buying land every other week, it might actually be better to have the lawyer on call. If you're a busy businessman, you're ever being taken to court for one reason or another, it's better to have a lawyer on call. That means retainer. If you're a person that has a lot of properties and the best way for you to keep those titles and those documents is with a lawyer, then it's better to get a lawyer on retainer. Okitegeera. Naye bw'oba olina land titles 5 6, then you can just pay a bank. Oba sekyo zeewolereko sente zibeereyo mu bank. Okitegeera. So yes, they can have a caveat, but zibeereyo mu bank because bank ijja tereka land titles obulungi. Buli title ogenda n'ogyowerako million 5 n'ozirekayo. Of course, you're going to pay, but that's safekeeping without actually paying for safekeeping. And I think banks have the safe deposit box. They have the safe deposit box. You can go and keep your things there and then pay them, I think, monthly or annually. Brother, Toyota Yaris, and like at how much on the market? The Toyota Yaris is the same as the Toyota Vitz. Am I wrong, Mr. Lucius? Because whatever these cars, they just have different names in different markets. Now, Toyota Europe can create the same car, like the Toyota MarkX, and they give it a different name. They modify the design a little for the European market. Then when you go to the US, because if you didn't know, the Toyota Tundra was made for the US market. It was made in the US actually. Japan, it was made, Jovola, and even the one that Bobby Wine has, it's a left-hand drive because it was made for the US market. Okitegeera. Ate n'amafuta genywa siga normal because the Americans, they prefer power over fuel economy. So your judges are getting 3,000, 4,000 cc. Most American cars are high engine displacement you get. So the Toyota Yaris, from the little knowledge I have, is the Toyota Vitz. Okitegeera. So bw'onoogenda ng'okozesa linnya Yaris oyinza obutagifuna okitegeera. So just go on and buy the Toyota Vitz. The Toyota Vitz now in the market it will be around 25 and above, okay, in the bond, but you can even get it at 16, 18 used, yeah. But if you Bobononya Yaris, then that tells me you're looking for like a British version or of the Vitz, or yeah, but maintaining the Yaris will be maintaining a Vitz. Yeah, Patrick is saying you need to understand that a one-time lawyer is more expensive than a retainer, and usually the quality of advice varies depending on the arrangement you enter into. Okay, tell us more. Because Patrick, in actual sense, in the news of Kugamba, for me giving 8 million to a lawyer every year is much more expensive than me calling on him. Because if I call on you, Patrick, for example, I have trouble at. Now let's imagine, Patrick, you compare for us two things. Arthur doesn't have you on retainer, but he gets trouble in court, and he has a case. Okay, probably a case that will last, let's say 3 months. Or 6 months. Let's say 6 months. Okay, let's say 1 year, because court cases in Uganda take as much as 1 year. So let's say Arthur has a case that's going to take 1 year in court, okay, where you have to release some people and you're not on retainer. And then Arthur, okay, let's say Emma has the same case, 1 year, he's on retainer, where you still have to release some people, okay? Emma paid you already 8 million. Arthur did not pay you 8 million. How much will Arthur spend in that 1 year court case, and how much will Emma spend in that 1 year court case? That's how to compare. You get? So in terms of luxury, you guys, if you're looking for sedans, because those are sedans, by the way, Crown is a sedan, the MarkX is a sedan, even the Mercedes-Benz that I've talked about are sedans. Katuwa to comparing as a Morocco in terms of luxury, and I'm thinking all these cars are safe. They appear to be safe, but I wouldn't bet on a Japanese car to be safer than a German car. That's why I would say if you're looking for a Mercedes, for a car that will give you both the comfort and the safety, because they will all use the same fuel on Mercedes-Benz. Now, most people are just scared of Mercedes-Benzes, but if you're looking for luxury and looking for safety, I would actually go for the Mercedes-Benz, either the C-Class, because it's much more affordable. You can get a C180 or a C200 at between like 15 million, 18 million. You can get a used one on the road, and then you can go to the bond and get even at 25, which take it depending. Ne Arthur eno government yafiirwa obutakuwa mulimu walayi. Your reasoning is on another level. Ne yanziza nnyo muganda wange. You get it? So I would think that you go to the C-Class. C-Class is much more affordable. C-Class, I take work class for the guys. And Martha was saying that in Morocco work class. Now, if I were looking for a car to give me class, I would go with the Mercedes-Benz. I'm telling you, I would go with the Mercedes-Benz, and because I already have a Mercedes-Benz mechanic, I did not return his call. After this broadcast, I'm going to call him up to Nyomie Muko. Yeah. Kati mumpadde ebirowoozo bya Mercedes-Benz bannange bantu mmwe. Kankole nnyo. Bannaye tukole nnyo, because bwe tukole nnyo tusobola ofuna bye twagala. Wano walina okuba mu lujja Mercedes-Benz. Ejja kuba ndooza E320. Oba ejja kuba nga E320. Naye ate nze Mercedes-Benz njagala mu manual. Empoomere. Nga Mercedes-Benz bakaaba amafuta nze n'enkuba endobo. Okitegeera. Anyway, now I have thoughts of Mercedes-Benz. Emma, you need to calm me down. Otherwise, when nzida mukuba kiddiro oyinza okunsanga nga nkola nga live nzikolera mu Mercedes-Benz. Emma, where are you? Cancel nkuwadde assumption yange. Arthur takuwadde retainer. Ino omusango mu kooti gugenda mala 1 year. Gulimu abokusasula ebimanyi ebintu byaffe ebye Uganda. Olina abantu bosasula mukko. Mukitegeera. then Emma yakuwa retainayo ya million omunana, let's say ayina omusango gwe gumu era ayina abokusasula abo ayiseewo omusango gwikule kinga ebintu bye Uganda bwe bikola ani asavinga. So Paul is saying, boss, how is Fan Cargo vehicle compared to Spacio old model? Now these two cars are similar and different. Ekisokera ddala, the Fan Cargo is a smaller car. Okay, smaller in sense of everything. Kabode katono, kabutu katono, okitegeera. Spacio is a bigger car. But comparing these two cars would be unfair. Why? The Fan Cargo has a VVTi engine, 1.5 cc and VVTi, yet the Spacio might have a 1.6 normal engine. So fuel consumption of the Spacio is way high, and I've seen so many people complain about the Spacio. The old model Spacio consumption is really high. I've seen so many. The only person that would say, hi Charles, tubade wano nga twogera ku Mercedes-Benz mpulira omutima guskippinga Charles bannange nze simanyi na kumanya. I need to calm down. Otherwise, omwaka guno nyinza okumala kunganyinayo kibenzi nange. Now I understand what you're going through, Charles. Anyway, tubale kyayogera Fan Cargo. So, hey! Emma, angambye naye the money you are going to use to facelift and buy a new engine, can you buy that Benz? So go for it, because it ain't expensive to purchase. It's only expensive in maintenance. And it would not be expensive to maintain on my end. It wouldn't. In the senior mechanical movie, mechanical wange wa muda. Of course, I'm going to buy a new engine. New engine is what I did them. I'm going to buy the new engine probably around March. I'll put the new engine. Yeah, ne omwaka guna gwera ku kansondere Benz eyo. Benz ngenda gisondera 10 by December mbenga njivuga. What kati bade nchali kuwa Fan Cargo ni konsekeredde. You see some people bagwe bakemirembe ngekazi kise wonze kibikazi tebindya. The Mercedes-Benz yendya, but I'm stuck in the Corolla. I'm stuck in the Corolla because of my level. Nze nchali bwenzija in the Maslow hierarchy of needs, nchali wali kuje bayita batya safety. Nchali ku safety kyovula avuga Corolla yange teina jeraga. Okitegeera. Tubale tukyali ku Fan Cargo. Fan Cargo is VVTi. Akamoro kakuno nakote kafa wokavuga obulungi. So the Fan Cargo will give you the mileage in Gemoroka yangi jempa 15 kilometers a liter and all that, but you cannot get that out of a Spacio old model. Spacio old model will give you maximum 10. Atengo ruingi ni mpia nyo, but most of the time it will give you 8-7 kilometers per liter. So if you're looking at fuel efficiency, go for the Fan Cargo. Which take it, but Fan Cargo is rare also in the market. Tela bikarabika. Neka Spacio old model tekala bikarabika. Neka tukoska Spacio old model so rokafuna mangu okusinga Fan Cargo. But the Fan Cargo will make much more sense financially. Bobogenda vugula modoka. Even maintenance wise might be easier to maintain. Emipira jako jiba mitonoko. Fan Cargo mbwenda buliko 13 inch. But just know it's a locker. Toina kati kanyo tekaba na manji. Atera, you don't drive a Fan Cargo like you're driving a Subaru. The engine will blow. I had a friend of mine. She bought a Fan Cargo as a second car. She sold it now to another person. Mumanyi ne yajigula. She went to Tanzania now. And the first time she was going to her home in Rukunjiri, she had a dude. Bali bagenda bonna. The dude drove the car badly. Na ajirinya engine nekuba. They put it on it was Christmas period. They put it on a car carrier and they brought it back to Kampala. The dude bought a new engine because he just say, and you know how guys can be around chicks, eh? We know kulaga amanyi. So he bought a new engine for her and put it in there. So the Fan Cargo si emoroka jolinya ebyabavubuka bitulinya. Whereas the Spacio solo jilinya ebyabavubuka netabako kyeba. Okitegeera. So Patrick says with that arrangement, a non-retainer would pay a minimum of at least 25, but a retainer would pay a minimum of at least 15. But ndabanga byebimu cancel. Manyi lwaki? Because bwemba nakuwa da million 815 kumpi kyekimu. But remember the drone or chigige program that you have. Emoli mugezi. Love your Corona. You make it feel the way you make feel it the way you praise it. Kana ka Corona kaveko. We all need an Emma in our lives. We all need an Arthur or an Emma in our lives. Yeah, Benzi. Just does a MarkX consume more fuel than a Harrier? They are at the same level because the MarkX is 2.5 cc. The Harrier, if you get a 2.4 cc, would actually consume less than a Harrier. So instead of buying a MarkX, if you can raise the money to buy a Kawundo, just buy yourself a Kawundo. Of course, I'm talking about the MarkX Kawundo because it's a VVTi. Even I'm talking about the Kawundo because it's VVTi. Even the MarkX is VVTi. If you're buying the Harrier old model, it means you're a MarkX. You get it? So Patrick is saying, however, the legal fees are legislated depending on the value of the subject matter in dispute, volume of work involved. So the said figure is not conclusive, so the figure can vary. So it means that a person who is not a retainer can actually save. Because if the person that paid you retainer of 8 million and they are again like spending about 15 million, it means they may spend more. And also I think, Patrick, it depends on the kind of relationship you have. For example, if Patrick, we did an exchange of services. Nogamba Arthur, you give me marketing services and marketing advice, and I'll give you legal advice. And then we kind of substitute, and I tell you, Patrick, annually, I would charge you this much for marketing. So don't pay me money. You'll pay me in terms of service whenever I need advice, legal advice. Which now we know, okay, but I would charge this normally, so you'll pay me this money. Wouldn't that work? You get, because I'm trying to make sure that we get because sometimes you can exchange in terms of service or product service. You go to a bondo muntu nakuwamu emotoka nakugamba when I need you anti ngambe retain a million monana in emotoka ya 25 mpayo 13 okitegeera, and then you pay that money nogenda ne emotoka, and then nomanya ati this year I'm a retainer with this person. Don't you guys do something like that sometimes? You get it? So that's one thing I think that would actually work. So Ragnar, if you're buying a MarkX, if you have the money to buy a MarkX, Crown or Kawundo would be a much better option because it has high clearance, and even when you're selling, the Kawundo will fetch you more money and faster than a Crown or a MarkX or even a Mercedes-Benz or Chitegera. So that's the difference that Kawundo, the way the market is working right now, that the person that has a Harrier would actually sell faster than all these other guys or Chitegera. But if you don't care about those things, yeah. Thank you, Emma. Omanyi, sometimes we take time to appreciate the gestures that happen, like someone reminding me that Arthur, no, you know, gula drone, you know, gula chigigi. Those are very important things. You can have them written down, but as long as you don't have someone that can slap you, go, wake up, which take it. Yeah, the guardian angel. Arthur becomes the guardian angel when you're buying a car, and then Arthur also he needs a guardian angel. I mean, the luxury binzijukiza Mercedes-Benz and my dreams for Mercedes-Benz. Kwa nange Charles seva duka nkugamba Benz jiveeko tuguleyo ka primo tugira tweyagalira omo. Benz tulijigula maase eyo nga tufuse batumbuto. You get what I'm saying? So anyway, you guys, that's the analysis of the Crown, the MarkX, and the Mercedes-Benz, because those are luxury. I would have talked about the BMW. I would have talked about the Volkswagen, but those cars are not reliable. It's a choge mazima. You can sit at Kampala Road for an entire day, not about a BMW 10. But you can sit at Kampala Road and count about 10 Mercedes-Benzes. So when we are talking about cars here, for the love of cars, we're going to be talking about mostly cars that are reliable, cars that have been proven to be reliable for us. Oleme kugula chimotoka ate kufukire ekizibu. Oh, gwete weda dikira Martha agenda kuwe namba. But Emma Martha yagamba ina chalinzo omugambi. Atayagala kimugambira wano. Kati. Gorabi katonda kitegeera, but you will text me nze nkigambe kyayagala okumanya. You will text me nze nkigambe. Gotonda kitegeera kyayagala okumanya. So you have to find a way of saying it creatively. Nze nkimanyi kyayagala omugambi. Gorabi katonda kitegeera. Okay, but remember that costs are taken by lawyers in most cases. Legal fees are not paid in kind of exchange of service by law. Ati kati gwe osobola okugira n'ofuna engeri gy'okikola. Patrick, I'm trying to get trying to get affordable legal service here. Don't make it hard. Don't make it hard. I'm trying to crack a deal here. I'm trying to crack a deal. Under the law, you cannot take services as fees. So you lawyers are only allowed to take money. People. You guys, because you're the lawmakers, you made sure that you don't accept exchange. Because exchange, no money, it's worth this much. Or it's because the government wants the taxes. So they make sure that you guys actually only receive. So you guys, today's broadcast has been a mixture of cars and law for you guys to understand how the law works. For you guys to understand how the law works. Oh. So you guys, you understand you need to have cash for you to get a lawyer. But you guys, I'll give you a scenario. Bogendanga, you have a case. It's always better to have a lawyer on speed dial. Why? A cousin of mine, yali avuga, and he drove. People came with 2 cows. The cows were stolen. So they get to a checkpoint and the cows were stolen. And because for him he was innocent, he did not know. Now he made them Morokaye. Now they ran away. So for him he was arrested. He was taken to police. And the case was opened, theft of cattle. I don't know how they say that. So he calls me and he tells me, Ata, I'm at the police. And I told him, you know what? I know a lawyer. Because I have a friend of mine. We went to school together. He's a lawyer. He works with whatever that farm is. It's a very big farm. Let me call him Tulabe. Because for me, right at that time, it wasn't about cost. It was about making sure he doesn't go to prison. And then I did not even know that the case was big. So I call him, I tell him, let's do that. Then he tells me, you know what, call mommy. So I call mommy. And mommy says, fetuino muntu wa fowama je. Agenda mujayo. Ebyo bitulekere. And I say, okay. Maybe a sonyuwa. But then I went ahead and I called the lawyer, my lawyer friend. And he said, okay, bail baja ko million ngemu bamwe bail. Because you know how systems in Uganda works. That the bail should be free, but you need to justify the bail. So I call them and I tell them, you know what, I've talked to a lawyer. The lawyer said this and this. And they said, if you want to bail, but to come to 1 million. I called the lawyer again. And he said, okay, I know the person there. You tell them I'm going to call that person if they allow, and the person reduces money. And at this time, the lawyer has not asked me for any money because he's a friend. Because we talked about money, his fees later on. So I call these people and I tell them, lawyer, agambi bwati ne bwati. Hey, you guys, nembye sonyuwa. The next time my cousin calls me, he calls me man. Chibas chizinginda chitalya. So I call the mother and I ask her, kati ate wamaji yakoze ki? Mba to wamaji aze bichi omusanga agutidde gw'okubente munene. And I tell them, okay, but they say that you know wamaji omulala. I say, okay, I keep quiet. So I call the lawyer, and the lawyer says, Naigwe Arthur, omusango go batuti ku mutowo ogumanyi nti munene. They can even lock him up to 7 years. And I say, okay, katubalinde tulabe. And my cousin is taken to Chitali and Biokusaga. You get. Ata ogoba gulinye. Okitegeera, ologoba genda paka mu court. So they go to court. And to cut the long story short, abamaje bonna bonna be bayina balemererwa, and we ended up spending like I think, say if that's the bond, we ended up spending about 3 point something. Okitegeera in the proceedings kumutowa nga atayina musango. But you know, that's how the legal system works. And I'm not saying it's evil. My cousin is out. Teyina musango. And you'll be surprised that abantu ababente bote bawa kwatana kuba basigala badduka. Nego bali babyeko enteze yazifuna because they did not go anywhere. Nga no musango yeta guliko. You get it? So we spent about 3.5. Chokaluli bali ba council wange yali abagamba bajja spending like 1 million. Of course, naitwa itu ino mwaye mitwalo nga jijo. Jiwera werako. Okitegeera. But we would have spent less. Naye olw'empaka azaabwe. So that's why I tell you guys, it's important that you have lawyer friends. That's why every time we get a lawyer here, or we have like JK said, his brother is a lawyer, it's important that we keep their contacts. Tomanya diro inza kwetaaga legal advice, diro inza kwetaaga legal assistance, because oyinza oba ogenze yembale. Like the person that was coming to buy a raffle yesterday was coming from Bali. There is a time he was supposed to come, and then he got land troubles. Then he went to solve the land troubles. So I'm thinking probably he got the same kind of thing. Eh? So it's a good thing for you to get to have lawyer friends like JK lawyer alimu family. So ayinza obutetaga bebbali. Arthur, do you think with our oil drilling fuel prices will go down? Fuel prices of oil? Eh? No, I don't think, because we don't refine the oil here. We are selling it out. At least sente bajjaziba most definitely. So tetugenda kufunamu. The bond, the bail, negolo zisente twazisa mu banka zetwasasula tezagenda mu banka. But it's okay. Kasita muto wanga abeera bweru, because that's normally what we are looking for, muntu okubeera free. The arrangement of exchange services can be done behind the curtain, but if things backfire, of course, it's tricky. You can't recover. No, but I mean, when you write the agreements, ogamba Arthur yampa marketing services a million musanvu na nyongerayo n'akakadde kitegeeza osasudde million monana. You're quite optimistic about this government, Patrick. Patrick is a lawyer. Era kati byayogera wana abyogera because as a lawyer there are things he cannot say here. Naye bwe mba mutudde nga abantu, I'm sure things can a little change. Yeah. My NGOs had a lawyer on retainer, but when I got a simple issue, the dude asked for $1,500 just to come on the scene, and I ended up paying $750K, and the issue was solved. Lawyers in Kampala. Oh. So Brian is saying that it's better to not put a lawyer on retainer, because I think most lawyers in Uganda babanga ba broker. Good morning JK. As long as ye kastali akake taddamu kumanya chichi kukwatako. Okitegeera, because that's how brokers are. Broker yafa kulia. So ajja kuguza n'ekimoroka ekivunda as long as yakoze eki yafunyeko. Okitegeera. What do you think of the Toyota Auris? How cheap is it? The Toyota Auris is not common. It's not common on the road. So I don't want to tell you nti yasente weziti oba weziti. Because nebo nogenda mu bondi oyinza ojinonya mu bondi nga 5 nga teriimu. Okitegeera. That's why I normally say that stick to the cars that are common, because those are very easy even to resell. But I'll ask for you, and I see. But the chances are high that you can go to 5 bonds and you don't find the Auris. Nigeria is Africa's biggest oil producer, but they can't even run power plants to supply the country with reliable electricity. Exactly. I mean, Africa is in its own continent. Money is stolen left, right, and center. Law can be very precarious trade. Katijeko kozezo oluzungu lwa Denmark. Precarious akagabona linka will connect menche kategeza. I think Patrick can testify to the precarious. Manya oluzungu nze mu class yange nze nasinganga n'oluzungu. We were in an alumni meeting, I think last Sunday, and people were saying, "Ningwe atagwa tusinganga mu luzungu, tusinganga ne mu GP. Oluzungu lo naye nga nange waliwo obugambo obumenya. Tetubukozesa kati akagambo precarious. Gola bikajjeke Denmark ajoli. Engeri gye mwogere nnyo oluzungu, akagambo precarious mukakozesa nga ffe tukozesa how are you. Precarious. Kati precarious kategeeza. Kozesa oluzungu lwe Uganda. Yes, good morning, Isaac. I don't know if we've made sense today in the broadcast. So I'm going to town later on in the day. I'm helping someone. I have a lady from Masaka. Ngenda kumulabirako ku how they can market, and I report. Of course, he answers to the data center kange. But mkozesa Danishi. Kati bodda mu luzungu ddana bigambo binene. So anyway, so for that lady, I'm going to look at Ipsums, RAV4s. I'm going to look at namwadena option ya vits na ajigoberawo. I'm going to look at Primos. You get zemotoka zengenda okulaba, and then I have to tell her this is how because tagenda vamasaka nga tategedde motoka kiji agenda gula. Yeah, so I have such people, and this person initially did not know that I charge like pre-purchase inspection, so it was tough when I told her nsasule emitwala ana nasoka neyenyola bwamaze nagakasoke nkuweeko kale naye munange bwe bibeera omuntu bwabeera bwewala, then you have to adjust. So I hope we have had a very good engagement here today. So for the guys that have, if you have relatives in Mbale, you know someone to recommend for gigs is a legal work. Nti bagenda kugula ttaka teolowooza nti balooya bali Kampala yokka. We have Patrick in Mbale, so that tebamubba, he can help do the due diligence. And I think normally in Papula zibaza make up Patrick Arthur, you'll find that I need a new car. I loved and drove my 1999 Raum for 10 years, but I stopped feeding it. I had even out a new engine, put a new engine in 2022. I woke up last year and bought IST new model. No, I'm not saying that I would not outlive it, but kana kamoto kokalaba njagala abana bange bakayigiremu, because it's manual. Manual cars are not so common these days. Precarious is kati Brian ebintu owanvu yabiwanvu yovudde mu precarious atogeze Exenberg. Mwena muzibwaza buziwaza. So Gideon, I think definitely I will outgrow this. But if I outgrow this car, I think of course my choice would be a Mercedes-Benz. Naye kati nkyalina business nyingi ezeetaaga emmotoka, kati nkyavuga emmotoka enkadde for some time. Okitegeera kati wuyo nina program eya Kigege, ate eyo Kigege eyo ya business nnyo, si yakuvuga taxi naye era business ezange zeeyina okukola. Okitegeera, so kaakati Kigege bwe baya million 15 ekozeeko, kati nze okwata million 2 nziteeke mu mmotoka endala mbu I've outgrown. Kati nze sinatuuka ku luxury yaka outgrowing a mmotoka. Okitegeera, that's something that I've come to understand, and I remind myself every day. Kana kamotoka kali comfortable, it's as comfortable as a Primo. Okitegeera, the Primo new model. The AC works. Kati kirimu kugamba naye Raum wagumiikiriza Raum. Nze Raum ndagivuga weeks 3 nennema. Ng'eyingini yaayo nnungi. Nagivuga ngitaddeko emipiira emipya. Raum wagigumiikiriza baba. Precarious is dangerous. Oh. So lawyers, we have a code of conduct. Failure to adhere to the standards of that can land you before the law council and be banned from practice or law for some time. Oh, Mr. Gideon, now where is that Raum? Gideon, Emma is asking, where did you sell the Raum? Oba wagitereka? Nze Corolla ngenda gitereka ngenda kubanga mugagga avunza. Except the sliding doors, the Raum worked for me. Gwomu kubazifunamu omukisa. Nze ate sliding doors, anyway, I drove the car for 3 weeks. When would I have gotten in trouble with the sliding doors? You get it? Nika kamotoka. Actually, I've told you before that my little cousin was asking me, Athene motoka ngo oludde nayo. Because they are used that I drive a car for 3 months, 5 months, and I change. 3 months, 5 months, and I change. 3 months, 5 months, and I change. Nene motoka andudde nayo. Probably because nadda mu kyalo, ate bwe nadda mu kyalo, you need obuddo when I was still in Kasanga, I could sell a car in the morning. I survive that day without a car, then tomorrow I buy another car. But here, and with the movements that we do, it's very hard for you to. So that's why you have to have a car on call. Sigarawo. So kana kamotoka kagenda sigarawo ate nyina bavubuka. Vuka banaweza myaka nga 15 nga batandika okuyiga emotoka. Okitegeera. So because they have to learn how to drive manual. I think Arthur, you are just obsessed with your car. I'm not obsessed, Vianney. But Vianney, I'm not obsessed with my car. Kana kamotoka kalungi. bannange birungi mubikkirize nti birungi. It's and also Vianney, when you look at the car market right now, in Morocco giraba bali bampe miliyoni 10. Omusajja yajja nga ayagala akamuruka bwe kati akammanyo nga waliwo akayina USZ nga kamuguze miliyoni 18. Okisigira naye ng'oli omusajja alina miliyoni 10 na mmeka, babroka ne bajja ne baŋŋamba Arthur katukuwe miliyoni 10 naffe tulyeko 2. But then I looked at where am I going to get a car that is going to give me this kind of fuel efficiency at 10 million? Ng'amazima sirabawo. Okitegeera bwetyo ne model okugitunda. Kakube Morocco endala zonna zigenda kuba automatic, and the only car that is reliable that I see as being as reliable at that amount eba Mark 2. Morocco jogenda ofuna emekuwa buzibu ngeri reliable, and it can't give me the kind of fuel efficiency I get with this car. Okitegeera ate it's very hard for you to find that Mark 2 ngeri mu manual, because if I found that Mark 2 Grand or a Mark 2 Mosota in a manual, I would definitely buy it. Neziriwa tezirabika. Vianney, I'm not addicted to my car. I'm not obsessed. Actually, it's not a perfect car, but it does the job. So you guys, I have to go. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. There's a MarkX Crown ne Mercedes-Benz to the handling. Then it handling ane kalo akatono. Yeah. So Safina, Chris Da Vinci, Charles Kaiser, Emma, Mr. Lucius, Brian, Stuart, Council Patrick, webale okutugamba ebyallo kati tugenda leetanga emisango wano osoko solvingireko wano nga tusasudde legal fees. That's the good thing with having lawyers in your circles. October, Marvin, the modern coder, Paul Banaria. The modern coder, you take advantage of this market as well. Nico, Ragnar, Seth, JK, Pascali, Gideon, Matthias, Paul. No, my Corolla is different, and of course Vianney. My Corolla is different, Paul. My Corolla is the same as the Alex. My Corolla is the same as the Fielder. By the time your kids will be 18, there will be no need for learning manual cars, because even now trucks and buses are coming out. No, but you know, Emma, if in the US they are still manual cars, ngate they are advanced in technology like 50 years ahead of us. Kitegeeze motoka za manual tezina gye ziraga ne bwoba oyagala otya. And Nathan, of course, webale yo kubeerayo mu Kamoli. Yeah, so thank you very much guys for taking the time to be part of this live. I'll see you tomorrow guys, same time, same place. I wish you a very nice day and a very nice public holiday. Liberation Day. Those are Vianney about umeme temokozi. By the way, guys, we have a umeme person here. Thank you very much, JK. Kagenda kubaka vintage kange. Tulina omuntu wa umeme bobe bintu bya umeme bikutawanya, wiring w'ennyumba, simanya baganyo ku omuti gwa masanyalaze. Vianney wali wano wa masanyalaze, ali mu umeme eri munda deep. Okitegeera, so we have someone from umeme in our circles. And he actually watches the live every day as well. Yeah, so how difficult is it to get a Vitz in manual or any other hatchback? Actually, the nyina manyi Vitz ya manual na ibajitwa milioni 18 ateri ku UAX. So emoroka za manual bwe ziba zaabuze kada akamoroka nyizo katunanga vintage milioni 5 gye bujjeyo. Sina je kada za bukaleke Vianney mundeke mbere obsess. Kamoroka kano kajja kunkolera akasente kako mbudde bwako. Bajana kapangisa tunonye muroka ya mani Kampala wano simanya bikoze bitya nga Arthur yagirina twagala givuga mu wikisinga birimba we mpe milioni 5. I have a very good electrician too. Okay, neje kagambya ina electrician omulunje nnyo. Yeah, So katimutegedde, we have electricians in our circles as well, but we have a umeme person. Viani alimu umeme ilimunda. Yeah, so you guys have a very nice day. See you tomorrow. Ciao.